It's like me
Suddenly
sometimes
can't remember it.
with questions as well. Like, I know them, but I just muck it up and it just doesn't sound as well as I thought it would. Hi everyone, Miranda here. So today I'm joined by the lovely Nicole Hayes. Hey! She is the author of One True Thing. Make sure to check out her interview. I'll leave it down below in the descriptions so you can all go watch that, where we talk about her book, One True Thing. Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
Today we're doing the opposites book tag. You ready?
I think so.
Ready. Let's do this. First book in your collection.
Was Danny the Champion of the World by Roald Dahl.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I love Roald Dahl. He's
Yeah.
cool.
I loved it, and I got it when I was younger, and it was the first book that I read over and over and over again. But I also, the book I've got now, I was given for my 18th birthday by my older sister.
Oh.
Because that first copy went missing. So it's still technically the first one, even though it's a different copy.
There we go. I can't remember exactly the first book in my collection, but I do remember when I was younger, I used to hoard a lot of the Jacqueline Wilson books.
Oh, right.
And her stories used to be just so good, and growing up on them, I really enjoyed them.
It's funny
to say that.
Those kids' stories, they stay with you forever.
They do, don't they? I remember when I was little, I also read Kids Night In.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was like a big chapter
Yeah,
book filled
anthology,
with
yeah.
all these stories. The last book you bought.
The last book I bought was literally last night. Is Leanne Moriarty's The Husband's Secret.
Ah,
Yeah, in
the husband's secret. That
Yes.
sounds like a scandal.
Totally. Well, it's Leanne Moriarty, and I'm
but-
discovering
yeah.
that that's pretty much what her book's about.
Scandals.
Which is awesome. I'm just completely hooked on her. So I'm just going to keep buying her stuff at the moment.
The Australian author. Do you know Pittacus Law?
Do I know?
Pittacus Law.
No.
No. He wrote I'm Number 4.
Oh, right. I know that book.
Yeah, that
okay.
book. He covers up his name. I don't think that's his real name.
Oh.
But the last one that I bought is United as One,
Okay.
which is the last book in the I'm Number 4
Oh,
series.
okay.
His books come out like every year,
Okay.
and there's about 7 of them. So I've been
Right.
waiting 7 years for this moment.
How satisfying when you get to the last one in
I
the
know.
series.
It's like Game of Thrones. When
Yeah.
apparently it's going to end, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, well, they haven't written the book, so they've
I
gone
know.
ahead of the author, which
Exactly.
is pretty funny.
A cheap book.
Oh, I bought a copy of, I think it was one of the Shakespeare, like Merchant of Venice, or one of those for like $1.
$1.
Yes,
$1.
$1 in a used bookshop, and in fact, it might have even been like 80 cents or something. I remember thinking this is ridiculous.
I can beat you on that.
Yeah, go on.
50 cents.
Whoa.
I went to
That's cheap.
I went the other month to a library sale
Yep.
where they sell their library books, and all books were going for 50 cents and $1. $1 was hardback books.
Oh,
so I
wow.
came out with a box of
Nice.
so many books, but I found library sales just so amazing.
Library sales are good, actually. I should pay more
They're
attention to those.
really, really
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I-
Although I was thinking the
yeah.
author whose book's no longer being kept in the library.
Yeah, oh, that's true. And an expensive book.
An expensive coffee table version of Pearl Jam 20, which is their 20th anniversary book that came out on the 20th anniversary.
There
not
we go.
surprisingly. My husband actually bought it for me, but it was and he bought me the DVD that went with it, and it was just it was like $80. I don't want to ruin it, so I
Yeah.
hardly even open it. But I
Yeah.
just anyway. So that seemed like a lot to me. I know textbooks can be a lot, but in terms of books that I actually for pure
Read.
pleasure,
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest
Wow.
splurge I've done.
Probably mine on my bookshelf. You're not going to think this, but when the whole Twilight saga was out there and everyone was really hyped up about it, I bought The Host by Stephanie Meyer, like when that first came out. And it's a paperback, and it cost me $40.
For a paperback.
Yes, it was
Why?
back when Angus and Robinson were up.
You didn't think about, I don't know, waiting for a week or two for it to come down? You had to read it.
I had to read it.
Isn't that the best feeling though when there's something?
I
I wonder
had
what
to.
the new Harry Potter will be like.
A book with a male protagonist.
Okay, so it's my favourite book in the whole wide world, and it's called The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
The Road.
It's actually got, so the main character is a father, and he's walking his son through an post-apocalyptic landscape, and he's just they're walking south so they can avoid winter. They're not going to survive another winter, and he's dying. We're pretty sure he's dying. And
that
it's this
sounds really
very
good.
scary world. It's amazing. They don't even have names. It's just the father and the son.
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson.
Male protagonist.
Good old Percy.
Good old Percy.
Can't go wrong.
I can't go wrong with Percy. Female protagonist.
Oh, which is pretty much everything I write and read.
Because my answer was going to be One True Thing.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that book.
I've heard of that book. Who wrote that?
Yeah, so I don't know. Some obscure.
Some author.
I'm sure her career's over any day now.
Oh no.
What did I just read? Female protagonist that I just read was the Flo Ferris's Risk, the young girl, and it completely escaped me the character name, but anyway, that has a female protagonist. It's her best friend that goes missing after an online date.
Never trust online dates.
No.
A book you read quickly.
The Leanne Moriarty, the new one, Madly, Truly, Guilty, which I devoured.
Straight away.
Yeah, I basically said, well, go away.
4 hours? How long does it usually take
Oh,
you?
it's really big.
Really big.
Yeah. So I don't know. It took me longer than it possibly should, but because I do have to eat and I do have kids and life.
Probably me. Thanks for the Trouble by Tommy Wallach.
Okay.
I recently read that book and it was just brilliant. Like I loved it so much, and that probably took me 2 days.
Wow.
It's
okay.
a YA book as well. Yeah. A book that took you long to read.
This is a book that I had to read for school, but we all voted not to. If that makes sense. So it was The Eye of the Storm by Patrick White.
Okay.
And it was meant to be our VCE text, but we had like 6 books. We had to choose 5 out of the 6, and everyone voted not to read The Eye of the Storm. Because I never got past like page 50. Eventually, I actually made myself go back and read it. So it stretched out over a couple of years.
Mine would probably be at Big Cloud Street.
Okay.
I don't know if have you read that book?
Yes, I have. You didn't like Cloud Street?
We had to read it for school, and I think it was the atmosphere that I was reading the book in. I felt really pressured, and sometimes when I feel pressured to read things, my mind just it just doesn't go in there.
And it's a shame when a book becomes a chore because it's at school.
A national book.
Rebecca James, Cooper Bartholomew's dead.
Probably The Rug Maker of Mata Sharif.
Ooh.
Oh. Now, another one that I had to read for school, but it was like a biography one.
Okay.
But it was really good, and he has his journey from Afghanistan, how he came to Australia, and now he has a rug shop in Dandenong. International book.
Rachel Crow's Spark series, have you read those?
Heard about them. Heard they were fantastic.
Compelling reading. So
yes.
I highly recommend them. She's a New Zealander. That makes her international, doesn't it?
It makes her kind of Aussie. We'll go on in between.
All right, if we're going to go international, then I'm going to say Amy King, A.S. King, anything she's written.
Yeah.
I love her writing.
Divergent.
Well, why?
There we go.
Then you can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Love Divergent.
Divergent was good.
Yeah.
What do you think of Allegiant?
Allegiant broke me. I didn't.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, I'm not an Allegiant fan.
Oh.
I should have put that as my longest to read. I actually stretched it out over about 3 months.
Really?
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, but that's not as long as The Eye of the Storm.
A thin book.
A thin book. I have this fabulous little book by Robert Dahl. It's a collection of poetry. Robert Lau introduced me to, it's about 25 pages, I think, and the fabulous Skunk Hour poem, which was the first poetry I studied at school that actually resonated for me, and I became quite obsessed with that poem. I loved it. But good. Poetry until then was always, just didn't do it for me, but that, had this sort of contemporary modernist poetry really resonated, and the book is really slim and I've still got it.
I'd have to say The Finding by M.E. Walker. You sent that over to me, and that's like that big.
Oh, okay.
It's so tiny, it's so slim.
It's like a little novella or something.
It's like a little novella. Yeah, it's really tiny. All the books are really tiny, but they're fantastic. A thick book.
A thick book. Illuminate.
Thick book.
Amy Kaufman
yes.
and Jay Kristoff.
Fantastic.
Huge.
Thick.
Compelling.
Good.
Heavy to lug around, but that's good because I read it quickly because I didn't want to lug it around, but also because I was so page turner.
There we go. Lady Midnight. Ooh. Yeah, Cassandra Clare.
Yep.
That's thick. That's that's that big. It's huge. I was expecting it to be like little. Have you read it?
I haven't, no. I'm seriously just going to sit down and get these notes from you and just write them all down. And go.
Fiction book. I'll say The Duff.
The Dove.
The Dove.
Okay.
Have you read it?
No.
Have you seen the movie?
I saw the movie.
The movie's kind of different from the book. Like they changed a few things, but the book's way better.
The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
That was a good movie. I
And
really
novel.
liked that movie. Yeah, a non-fiction book.
Amy Poehler's Yes Please.
Okay.
Loved it.
Yeah.
It's her memoir and it's fabulous.
I had to say Pavana. We had to read that in high school, and it was like a biography type of book. So I had to say Pavana.
My daughter had to read that at school too.
Yeah, Favana. A romantic book.
The Fault in Our Stars. Honestly, I do.
Gorgeous. I love it so much.
That relationship is superb. I loved it.
Notebook.
Oh.
Anything Nicholas Sparks.
Right.
He's a romance god. I love him so much.
He is.
Imagine having him as like a husband or something, doing all of this.
He probably puts all of his romance into his books and just doesn't save any for real life. That's my theory.
And an action book.
We're going to go back to the Hunger Games. I mean,
Yeah,
in
Hunger
terms of
Games is good.
action,
Yeah.
I don't remember reading a book that made me just bang. Like I was sprinting through that book because it's such a page turner.
Hunger Games is fantastic. And also, have you read Throne of Glass?
I have not.
Really great book.
I've got
Sarah
them on my
J.
shelves
Maas.
at home. Yeah.
You'll love them.
Okay.
Amazing. A book that made you happy.
Tina Fey book, Bossy Pants, made me laugh a lot like the Amy Poehler one. Just made me laugh a lot, and laughing makes you happy. Like
Yes.
it just feels good. And I tend to read stuff that's a little heavy going. So when I read my fiction, so it's actually a memoir of all things. But just to laugh out loud, like multiple times when you're reading a book, that's a winner.
That's fantastic.
That's a win.
That's a win. Fallen by Lorraine Kate, because I've read that book so many times. It's my favourite book ever. And just that whole series, like it just makes me happy because I know what to expect so much. But going back to it, I play it like a movie in my head, and that just makes me really happy when I can think of books that way. And I thought of your book that way, like I could just see it in my head as a movie.
Oh, cool.
And you know that when that happens, it's going to be a winner of a book. So
Totally.
to say that book that made you sad.
The Curious Incident of the Dog at Nighttime. Yeah, Mark Haddon. It's a fabulous book. The Curious Incident of the Dog at Nighttime. Great title. It's very fun, kind of in many ways, because the main character is on the autism spectrum, and so he tells the story in a very flat. It's a really compelling and really honest, unfiltered way. But the story is really heartbreaking, and I sort of tear up just thinking about it.
Yes, Fault in Our Stars.
Yep.
Probably have to say, because I cried. Like every single time I read that book, I shed a tear. I don't know what it is.
I remember reading that book and I was at the pivotal point in that story, and I was about to go in and teach at Melbourne Uni, and I was early, so I was reading and I was like absolutely a mess, and I walked into my screenwriting class and it was mostly girls and a few guys, and I just said, they just all, oh, what's going on? And I just held up the book and they just go, oh, and one of them went and got me a cup of tea.
Well, there we go.
They understood why I was devastated. I said, I'm going to need a few minutes here.
I'd definitely love to thank Nicole Hayes for coming in the studio with me today.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks so much for doing the tag. And make sure I'll leave it down below in the description to check out that interview that I have with her. I'm Miranda.
And I'm Nicole.
Thank you so much for watching. See ya.
Bye. Just
Go for it.
Ooh.
Oh, you have the old one as well.
Yeah.
Same. Oh, they take forever now. I don't know why.
Well,
Like
it's
a
going to be
chapter book.
published as a book. Like it's available as a book.
Final check.
Don't be nervous.
No, I'm not nervous. I'm just wondering if I need my notes because my brain will forget. Is it better not to have anything on my
This
head?
book here, that's not going to be in the way
Yeah.
if it's down somewhere there.
For the main big ones,
Yeah.
it's usually people like it better off the top of their heads, and it
That's
just comes
fine.
like that.
It's entirely the only notes I've got. It's right there. I've got my notes in my bag. Should I just
Yeah, Dave, whereabouts?
see that bag in that bag? There's
This
just
one?
a notebook in there. Thanks. And it's just then there's no reference.
You can
no,
just
yeah.
even leave it up there on the.
the top of the stack. Eva, relax. We've got this.
We got.
We got this. Now this comes the politics question. And also, I mucked that up.
Yeah, I've got a new one because I'm going to interview her in a few weeks. And I've never
Now
read
you're
her.
doing an interview.
I know, right? I have to do your job.
It's
I'm
good.
not gonna
You got
complain about
sold
that.
out. That's why I was like, sold out.
Yeah, and I think it's an ebook. I'm pretty sure it's an ebook too.
Maybe, possibly, maybe
Yeah,
an ebook.
I should know that. You
Ooh.
don't have a Google.
The hold up. My phone's still old. So.
I can check mine if you want, but I don't want to move because I'll
Yeah.
mess up our microphone, main events or books.
Okay, we'll go for that question again. Yeah.
Oh, I like
There
that.
we go.
Beautiful, no politics.
No politics?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll edit this in. Fantastic. And I'll chop that out and make it the thumbnail. Yeah, and then I'll change the focus on there. So they're facing forward.
Actually, and I've got one of, I'm trying to remember, do you remember what? Oh, yes please. Is it?